Passion, drive, and patience. The formula of winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything for you to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED lights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has it covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices that you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP it needs to be and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Again, ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Welcome to Tara, Clem, and Kush. That's I like that name, by the way. That we made that name up on the fly. I'm not even sure if you're aware that we did that. Yes, just because we had Clem and Kush, and then we named this Tara, Clem, and Kush. People really need to know how the origins of some of these names. I appreciate you doing this because, much like a lot of the people that work for your brother, you're not getting paid to be here at all. You're just doing this out of the kindness of your heart. It is Sunday at 12:22 right now. You've had a busy morning. We were going to originally go, I think, a little earlier. And then you've been running around for Dr. Dan?
I did. Dan, in like full transparency, it's no secret how much he does or has done for my family, specifically my brother. The Diacos have always had his back when it was not popular to support him. They've never wavered. And Dan's kind of like a brother to me. Anytime I get sick, anybody in my family, that guy goes overboard. He's helped Tarek. He's helped me. Most recently, my mom, just checking in on her. We'll get into that in a minute. And Bubba gives Dan a hard time. Anytime I say, I'm always complimenting Dan. Seriously, an anomaly, a guy who is a physician, a plastic surgeon, and an attorney. Like, I'm still trying to think of everything. And board certified, right? Plastic surgeon. So I'm just grateful. He's such a wonderful person with a big heart. He's always there to help. And what do you buy somebody who's he's kind of like Tony Stark, if you think about it. The dude's got like the highest tech of anything, high-tech gadgets. He drives, he has multiple Ferraris. I don't even know. His car collection is like insane. What do you get a guy who wears a $100,000 presidential Rolex? What do you get a guy like that? And today is his birthday. And I usually bake people like you, Lummy, Bubba. I haven't had a chance to do it for you yet, but I try to bake people.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I've had one. Not that I've been around. I've been around at odd times,
Right. So you're next, or whoever's next. But I couldn't bake one for Bubba because I was traveling. So remember, I sent the cinnamon swirl pancakes. Now I've started that. So I asked Dan, I'm like, hey, last week or so, I reached out to him. He and I were texting about my mom, and I said, what's your favorite cake? I want to make you a homemade cake. Now, my cakes are not like Maria Guatemala. Hers are next level. Like, she could win contests like Cake Boss. Mine's more for flavor, not really. Looks are decent, but, I'm not like trying to enter a cake contest. So he told me it was chocolate and peanut butter. I told him I wanted to make him one. So that's what I did this morning. And I have never made a chocolate peanut butter cake. So I just want to go on record. If it sucks, Tarek made it. If it's good, I made it. So it just got it out of the oven. We're talking homemade. Like, I don't do box shit. If you can't make something from the actual food, like sometimes I have. I'm not gonna lie, but
well, look, there might be some people that aren't as highly skilled, in the kitchen. My skill set is limited to podcasting. So, if I were to make a cake. If I were to make a cake for somebody and I did bust it out of the box, there's still some other steps that go. You got to get the fucking, you got to get the vanilla, you got to crack the eggs, you got to mix, you got to do some other shit. So it's not like it's just a one-stop shop.
That's true. It's not like you just take it out of the box and it's there. But I did make, I made the chocolate. in all fairness, the fact that anybody would even try, I think that he does it like that's awesome. That all you got to do is show up, right? So hopefully, hopefully it doesn't suck. I guess that's my very long-winded way of saying I've been baking all morning. Everything's cooling. I just made the frosting. Cakes have to cool. And again, if they suck, Tarek made them.
Well, is this something that you want to get to him today, or are you going to get it to him tomorrow when he's on the show?
So what I'm thinking about doing is later this afternoon before my brother passes out in his ambient stupor, I probably like around 4, I was just going to take it to the studio because I have to take my mom to I have to work tomorrow and then she's got like 3 doctor's appointments. So instead of trying to rush around and Monday morning traffic sucks. I'm not trying to get up at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning. So I'm going to take it to your Bubba's studio later. So you're my witness. So 1, if the cake's missing or there's a bite out of it, you know that it didn't. I'm going to send you a picture as proof. I have this fear that Bubba's going to like end up tasting it or something.
You know what though? As much as probably Bubba would, or if maybe the cake was her baby face, I would maybe like take a bite out of it or lick the icing. I don't want to fuck with anything of Dan's because I know he takes his desserts and his sweets, seriously. So I'm not going to do that. But your brother's your brother in the morning. I mean, I'm not around him all day, but he's not very like, the merch crick will bring him some fruit and all that. Sometimes we'll have a pancake, sometimes not, but he doesn't really like eat a bunch of shit. I think I feel like he's regimented with what he eats.
True. He's very regimented. That's a good point. Yeah. But, hopefully he won't get in ambient stupor tonight.
Yeah, and go up there and end up working out and then going face down. I'm sure the merch crick will put it, find a good spot for it.
I'll probably take it. Yeah, I'll probably take it to their apartment and then have merch crick because I know she goes to the studio in the morning to do merchandise and stuff, and then just have them transport it instead of me. That might be better because I don't want anything at the studio to get it, so I'll probably just take it to their apartment and then they can take it over in the morning.
Let me ask you, what do you think about all this, your brother's merchandise that's been coming out? I mean, the shoes, the cologne. Do you have any of this? Do you think it's a joke from afar? I mean, the thing is, we can talk anyway about it because it's all sold out. So, but your brother's very, very, on top of the merch game right now, he has been throughout the years.
And this is who I know, right? So when Bubba when his career started to take off, I would say more so in Tampa. I was in college, so I didn't really know. I wasn't here firsthand. But like in 93 or 94, when he came down to Tampa, he got into merch, like Air Bubba. He had remember pagers, beepers?
Oh, yeah.
He had Pogs. He had, so much merchandising. So this is all I really know of him. And so when he took sort of a hiatus as his career was, redirecting and streaming, now that he's back at it, this is nothing new to me. In fact, it was odd when he didn't have, he always had his Bubba Army t-shirts, right? And the hats. But this is really how I know him. He would take the most bizarre item and turn it into, Bubba merch and make a lot of money. So this to me is very normal. Now, he did I don't have any shoes. Now, I'm ashamed to say, but I'm just being honest.
I don't either.
I don't have a lot of Bubba merch. Now, Tarek does. We have our Bubba Stanleys, which are awesome. But, I'm not walking around. If I needed to wear a Bubba Army t-shirt, I would, and I would represent. I think I've got back in the day, he had these pink Bubba Army hoodies for girls. And I have one of those, and I love it. But, Tarek's got t-shirts, the sling, the Bubba Army tactical sling or bag or whatever it is, purse. Yeah. He's got, Tarek just got a bottle of Alpha last weekend. And evidently he's going to be getting some shoes. Tarek always represents very proudly. There's not a lot. It's more male geared, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you listen. I wouldn't expect to see you rolling around in a pair of his shoes at all. well. And look, I didn't get a pair either. I don't have any alpha. I'm honest because I don't wear cologne, and I'd rather your brother sell a pair of shoes than give them to me.
That's exactly what I told him.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe I'd wear them to Bart, but like I'm not gonna wear those gold shoes around like that. Maybe I would 20 years ago, but it's not my style per se. It's a lot of attention, unwanted attention on my feet. So
right, if it was like probably like a gimmick where you guys were all going somewhere and everybody from the show had them on, I'm sure you would wear them. But you don't want to take away from his profits if it's something that's going to sit on a shelf. Not that you're not proud, not that you don't think it's cool, but make the profit. And that's exactly what I tell him too. Tarek said the same thing. He's like, cool, yeah, of course they're cool little collector's item. In fact, it's funny, when I moved into the house, Tarek and I packed, and we purge a lot as we go. We're not like hoarders, but we found some old Planet Bubba hats from when he had the Bubba's Beach Club in Ybor City. I was in college when all this was going on, so I didn't know. But so we wrapped them up and gave them to him for Christmas, to Bubba, and he loved it. Like old hats. So we keep old stuff just to make sure that, it's always around. But I probably should represent a little bit better, but there's not a lot of women swag. There's not a lot of swag geared towards women. And I'm not going to wear a tank top that says like got Bubba's or got Diacos or whatever the hell that is.
No. And I'm kind of the same way. Like I like, your brother gave me like when I came back, like a collared shirt that has like Bubba Army, like on the, or like, like a pocket fucking square would be or something like that. And like, I like that stuff, like the stuff that's very aggressive, like the Bubba Army shirts and all that stuff. Whenever I was not associated with Bubba and I would see that stuff out in public, I felt like it was like, the militia was going to come fucking, curb stomp me. I always felt very intimidated when I'd see that. So,
well, you're not flashy. You're not flashy though.
There are times, I really like my attention to be on my, this is going to sound weird considering I just was talking about that. I'm not into the Bubba shoes. Although your brother, he probably has shown you, he's got more shoes that he's got coming in the works, which actually look very, very good. Which
yes, I was on the air that day. That's when he showed them. You weren't feeling that well, but you and I like the same ones, those green ones.
Yeah.
Hey man, you were a trooper to even be there, and it's
I feel like an idiot now that I had COVID and I'm around everybody. I mean, I don't know if people still. I know everybody at the BRN loosely doesn't care about COVID, but I would never want to expose anybody. So you and I didn't touch or anything like that. So
no, you stood in your section and I stood like behind that little partition wall.
Yeah, but luckily I wasn't like hacking all over. I wasn't like coughing or.
I didn't even know you had COVID. I didn't
either until later on that day when Phoebe tested herself, because I ended up missing Thursday because I told your brother I was like, hey, I can come into work Thursday because we were off Friday and Monday. I was like, if you want me to just finish out the week, I've already exposed all of you guys to it. He's just like, no, stay home. So yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah,
did you lose your taste and smell?
It was actually, the whole thing started because I went to the walk-in clinic. I went to the hospital. I'm trying to think if this was before or after. This had to be before.
Yeah, it was before, because I remember you saying, I went to the clinic. They said I have some sort of virus. I just need to work through it. And I do remember you saying, man, I don't even want to really eat or drink. Like you hadn't eaten in like 2 or 3 days or longer.
I went to the walk-in clinic when I was thrown up. I went from Sunday to Thursday without eating at all. And it wasn't I had no desire to eat at all. And I drank a ton of water, but I didn't have it at all, and then my appetite kind of slowly started coming back. I did lose my taste. I just felt overall sluggish. I did feel horrible. I think that was the first time that I had it. So, and then, I called Dr. Dan. I was fine, but my wife was freaking out. So I called Dan, and then he called in the medication, the cocktail, into the Davis Island pharmacy area. And, one of the few places that'll work with Dr. Dan, and went and picked it up. And Yeah, helped Phoebe within, a couple of days. And I was probably already halfway over it, but it got me over the top.
Nice. Wow, I didn't. So when you went to that clinic, did they test you initially for it?
No, no, it's
Oh
funny.
my God.
It's funny because you had just gotten back from, I think, Nashville or something, and you said that, or Mexico, or what the fuck?
Dominican Republic
Dominican.
shit show.
And yeah, you said that you got, well, you thought you had like what, the rotavirus or something?
No, I ended up just getting like sick from their food, the
Right.
water.
But you
Yeah.
originally thought it was a virus that had been going around.
Actually, I didn't think that. I think somehow that got translated. Like my
Okay.
mom told my brother, and then next thing I knew, someone was saying norovirus or
No, yes.
something. Yeah, I didn't have that. It was just the timing of me being down in that nasty, I mean, in that Dominican Republic and
Yeah.
getting just nasty food.
Yeah, everybody was kind of sick for a while, and that's what everybody was like, oh, it's this virus that's going around. Even when I went to the walk-in clinic, I was throwing up. They were wanted it. They thought I had, appendicitis. They were going to take my appendix out. I came in on Monday, and I told Dan. Dan's like, if you would have come in and seen me, I would have taken your appendix out. He's like throwing up, having like, because my stomach was kind of bloated. He's like, that would have come right out. And then 4 days later, I'm like, Dan, I had fucking COVID. You would have taken my appendix out. It was like they don't even.
Wow.
But it's not, and I get it. It's not one of those top of mind things anymore. For a long time, it was like you'd go anywhere, and they're like, "Have you felt any of these symptoms in the last 4 weeks?" Of blah blah blah. And now I still see people wearing masks and all that shit. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going around, but man, it got this fucking house.
Gee, so did everyone get wiped out? Did Sammy?
No, she didn't get it at all.
That's
So
cool.
yeah,
Kids are so resilient.
yeah, I'm happy too, because this was a wicked one. So
Wow. Is this the first time you and Phoebe had it?
yeah, Phoebe had it before. I never got tested positive for it until this time. So yeah,
Damn.
I did a good job of avoiding it for a while. But listen, all those people that think that I'm a big pussy, who got 19 different vaccines, I didn't, and I got the natural immunity right now. So
Yes, you do. You
if any
do. And I don't,
if any babes need it, come and get it.
that's right. I don't think anyone thinks you're a pussy, man.
Oh,
Ooh, I mean,
please. Well,
whatever.
listen,
Everyone hates
we
everyone.
won't get
Yeah.
we won't we won't get into it right now. There's a guy on Twitter that called me a beta bitch this morning. I mean, like it's all the time, but I blew up his picture because he looks like a
Serial killer.
Go check out the Twitter. It's very easy to nuke people when you're in the mood, and I was definitely in the mood today. Something that I wanted to talk to you about that I have heard Bubba mention. I don't know how this is going to play out, because Bubba doesn't strike me as like the cabin type of guy. You're taking the family to North Carolina, right? And you're going to outside Asheville?
Yes, I'm instantly rethinking my decision because my mama, oh, because of a lot of factors. But so essentially, about 3 months ago, one of my partners a year ago bought a house outside of Asheville. It's west of Asheville. It's in a really, really cool area that is known to be, it's called the Plateau of North Carolina. And it's like a 4,500 elevation where it is literally the coolest because of I don't know, because of the actual location and the altitude. It only gets to like 75, maybe high 70s in July and August. And so I know. And so Tarek and I have been talking about getting a home in the mountains where we could escape, a month or two in the summers, obviously still work remote and not, I love the West Coast, but it's so far. This is like a
Yeah.
9-hour drive. I need a place where I can be home fairly quickly. My mom's 78, blah, blah, blah. So we started looking. The heat, is already, dude, you know that we're 10 degrees hotter than Miami right now? I don't know what's going on in Tampa. Yes. So it's been like 95, 98 here, and it's been like 89. And it's pretty sad when you've got to go to Miami to get cool. So
Yeah,
we
that's something.
decided,
Something seems wrong with that. But I tell you, Tara, like I at this time of year, I check out of the weather because it's really just a matter if it's going to rain in the afternoon or not. I'm locked into 90-degree
yep,
temperatures until late November.
yes, you're right. It's just sort of it just got hotter quicker than normal. There was no,
There's no
it
breaks.
always is like that. Right. So my partner was like, man, he goes up for like 2 months in the summer. And he's like, we're able to work from anywhere. Have you thought about coming up? So we started looking, and then the reality of me being away for more than, a week from my mom, not possible. I'm really sorry. I don't know where my cough button is. I'm so sorry. I know that's such a hack move, and I'm gonna get in trouble for it at some point. So I apologize because this is Teams, and I don't know if I have that capability. But moving forward, that was the thought behind it, to escape the heat over 4th of July. We usually go away for the week. So Tarek found a house, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and we just booked it. And we were going to go regardless. So then I'm like, obviously, a couple weeks ago, I said to my family, we'd love to have you guys, not really knowing if they'd want to go or not. And Bubba's like, I think that sounds great. And I'm like, seriously? I did not expect him to say yes. And by that, I mean, I want him to go, but he's just not, he and I could not be more opposite. I mean, I love to travel. I want to travel the world. I want to see every part of not just the United States. I'm really, really into that. He is really, really not. I mean, he's
Yeah,
good with never leaving his apartment. I mean, the guy's like a hermit.
or just
So,
going to Indiana makes them happy.
that's like his idea of a vacation, which it's not
Or
mine. And that's
or
fine,
merch
right?
or merch crick.
I know, and she loves it. I'm like, oh my God, let's go to Italy, let's go to Greece. I'm dying to go to Santorini. And he looks at me, he's like, why would you want to do that? I'm like, are you serious? So that's how the whole story began. And Tarek and I are going to go up early, and then they are bringing Janie Cakes up on like.
I love a great deal just as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to crawl through a bed of hot coals or go out of my way just to save a few bucks. And if I am, man, it's got to be easy. No hoops, no BS. So when Mint Mobile says it's easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I'm going to call them out on it. Turns out, it's really that easy. It's that easy to get wireless for $15 a month. The longest part of the process was the time I spent on hold waiting to break up with my old provider. That's a nightmare. Wish everything was as easy as Mint. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk-to-text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your old phone number with you, along with all of your existing contacts. To get this new customer offer with your 3-month premium wireless plan for only $15 a month, you must go to mintmobile.com/Bubba. That's mintmobile.com/BUBBA. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Bubba. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower on 40 gigabytes on unlimited plans. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
That Wednesday, they get to babysit. They get to take her to the airport and wheel her around like Aunt Edna and the Griswolds.
That's right. I know Bubba wants to take advantage of those perks. And so how long are they going to be staying there with you guys?
Only like Wednesday to Saturday. They fly in like Wednesday pretty early, and I think Saturday night we all leave on the same flight.
Okay.
Yeah. And the 4th is like Thursday. So we'll be there like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday during the day. So just enough, because I know Bubba gets antsy after like, he's like, what are we going to do? I'm like, well, we've got all these hiking trails. He's like, you're into that stuff? I'm like, yes. He's like, okay. I'm like, whitewater rafting. There's all these art museums. There's these boutiques. And bless his heart, he's like, okay. And I know he's just doing it, to be a good team player, and I appreciate it. I mean, I
Well, you
wanted
know
to
what? I'll
go
talk.
and just get away. Tarek and I wanted to go and get away, but I think it's a good opportunity for a family deal.
Listen, we will pay you to if you can get Bubba whitewater rafting because we would love to see his short arms, work that double paddle because it's like you gotta. I mean, you cannot like you have to hold up your end of the deal when you're doing that stuff. I would love to.
Oh yeah, those little
see him,
T-Rexes going to town.
Yeah, I'm just seeing him fucking caught up on a rock. He's yelling at the merch crick. She gets out. She's shooting downstream. They got to call in the fucking National Guard to come airlift her out. It's a whole thing, but
it's gonna be a scene. And who knows if he'll even agree to it, but I do have some stuff planned. I'm gonna surprise him. Andy's pretty good. He might bitch about it, but I think he'll do it. He's pretty good about that. We shall see.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully he's getting to the point where, he wants to have a good time at certain, doing certain things when he's getting older. Now, there was something I know that we've talked about kind of Janie Cakes, and we talked about Dan checking up on her and, her going with you guys on vacation and she fell. And I don't know if the picture was put up on the show. But I mean, the arm was just, completely purple.
And like raw meat too.
Yeah.
The whole arm turned black.
It was tough. And, I know that it's kind of affected Bubba and I know it affected you. Obviously she's affected by it. You've been checking up on her and everything. How's she doing and how are you doing? Cause you guys are kind of
taking care of her. Yeah, I mean, so it's a lot, and I think it's been a struggle to see her have even more challenges after my dad passed. I mean, he was 12 years younger. He did everything. He did everything. So now I'm replacing that, and that's very difficult to really step into his shoes, help run her household, help run mine, and help run a business. And I think I told you last time I'm struggling. And it's also sad to see, your mom, who has always been this incredibly strong woman, sort of start to falter a little bit. And, she hates asking for help. And her way, I'm direct. I'm like, if you need help, every week say, okay, this is what needs to be done around the house. This is what I need help with. Don't just call and say, man, these bushes are really overgrown. I get that passive aggressive and I don't do well with that. Like, be direct. Yeah. And Tarek's the same way. He's like, Mom, call me. I'll be there. So I'm usually the one that gets every single phone call, from bitching about the neighbors to whatever it is. I've literally replaced my dad. So last Friday, I was at my office down by the studio. Our CFO was in town, who's also one of my partners. We're going through the P&L, all the financials, all this just not fun shit. And it's like noon, 12:30 on Friday, and I hadn't heard from my mom. So we took a break for the meeting. I text her, and I'm like, hey, I haven't heard from you. What's going on? How are you? Happy Friday. And she texts back that I fell in the middle of the night. I was laying on the bathroom floor in a pool of blood for a while. Oh. I crawled to the recliner and I cleaned up my arm, but I can't really walk. And I didn't want to tell anybody. This is exactly what I get, along with a picture. I'm like, oh my God, Mom. I said, when did this happen? She said around 2 a.m. Like, and it's noon or 12:30. So I wrapped up at work. I rushed to her house and saw that. I mean, you saw the arm, and she's laying there like so out of it. I'm like, Mom, we need to go to the ER. No. And you get that you play that game, right? Where, no, I don't want to be a burden. So I packed a bag. I packed stuff so she could stay with me for a week. She did a pretty good job of bandaging it as best as she could. I got all of her medications. That's like packing a diaper bag, really. When you're a new mom and you got to do the burp pet, it's like the opposite of that. So I get all this shit around.
House and everything.
Everything. She's got blood pressure pills and these kind of pills and this kind of pill. So I get it all. We go to the ED, and, don't get me started on our healthcare system. I mean, you just experienced it. You had COVID and they didn't even test you, and they wanted to take out your appendix. So you know what we're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Like we go to this ED. The medical assistant smelled like a fucking goat. I'm pretty sure he hadn't bathed in a week. I thought I was going to vomit.
Gross.
And it was gross. So all they did was x-ray my mom's elbow. Well, she also fell on her back. Her elbow took, just as much as her back. Well, there might be some sort of a hairline fracture. There's so much swelling. We can't really tell. We were there for hours. They essentially bandaged it and put it in a sling and told her to take aspirin. I mean, it was such a joke. So fast forward, she was here till Tuesday. And then I got the call again, Thursday. She wanted to go home for a couple days. I get the call Friday. She's crying. I can't sleep. The pain is so bad. I can't take it. So I took her back to the ER on Friday.
And this was just a couple of days ago, Friday?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, she stayed with me for like 5 days and I took her back. She got everything done. Like all she had to do was really just get up and go to bed. And she said the pain was just so bad she couldn't even sleep. So I took her. I know. They couldn't do an MRI because of all the swelling. So they gave her a steroid shot in her back. I go back. I take her back on Monday. She's seeing 2 different doctors tomorrow. And I am the one who does it all.
So a couple of things. One, are you running all this stuff by Dr. Dan, and is he okay with the tests and everything they've been running? And my other question, which is probably heavier, is are you kind of in a spot where you might want or need to take on your mom full time at the house?
So first part of your question, Dan has really just been focused on her elbow. Like there's no bruising on her back. She has like a herniated disc. So I think it's something she did to her back.
Yeah, there's got to be something sounds wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it's it was ceramic tile. So something's wrong, but it's like, okay, we'll just keep coming back to the ER and we'll send you on, 15 different directions and then do nothing. But Dan has been really concerned about the wound on her elbow because not only did she have, some sort of fracture, it was an actual open wound. So I've been sending him pictures. He says it's looking great. So all is good there. As far as the MRI and whatnot, that will be done on Monday. And then as far as her staying here, here's the challenge. I mean, that's why I bought this house. But she's so set in her ways, Seth. Like she was here 5 days and it was, well, I'm just more comfortable in my house and I can't really, which I get, right? I totally get. So that's going to be, I don't know how soon that's going to happen. I'm prepared, but I think she still wants her independence and I'm good with that because I think she needs that in order to really have purpose. But she'll stay here a couple days a week and then, she I don't know. She just wants to be at her house.
Yeah, listen, and I get it. She needs to do the shuffleboard. She needs to, chat with the girls and all that. That's all part of it. You don't want to just stop doing anything, and just sit around and watch TV. If she just sits around and watches TV with Tarek all day, who knows? She could be gone in a year. So yeah, so we got to keep her busy and all that stuff. I just figured that you guys were, probably at least having that conversation. So
yes, I definitely have that conversation with her a lot. Mom, that's why I got this house. Oh, I'm good. Her, one of her best friends lives like 4 or 5 houses down. So all of that's good. It's a lot because she is not a kind of person, or she's not the kind of person that wants to sit and watch TV. She wants to go to the mall. She wants to go do stuff. So that's all now like me. Like I'm her, I'm driving Miss Daisy. I'm her friend. I got her groceries. I mean, Seth, I'm telling you, last week was really rough for me. It really was. But, I would be angry if she didn't tell me when she needed help. But it's just hard.
I can't fix anything around the house, but if you need me to take her anywhere, Colton would do it,
Oh
Tarek
yeah.
would do it. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think
Tarek's been
you're the,
great.
you're the, you're the, yeah, you're the busiest and most important person in, probably everybody's circle. So if you
I
needed
don't
help
think
or anything,
so. I don't think
oh,
so. I think everyone has their shit. I don't think I'm any busier. I think I have a lot of responsibility.
yeah,
And I think I'm starting to crack a little bit because I'm losing sight of taking care of myself. But
yeah,
it's and then my mentals, like seeing my mom like that. And Bubba comes over, he came over to see her last weekend, but it was just all, he doesn't see her cry. She's, oh, Bubba's here. It's kind of like a kid who's on their best behavior, right? When
yeah.
someone else is around, and then when they leave, they act like a brat for their mom. I kind of feel like that's how she is. She takes everything out on me, and I hear all the gossip from the neighborhood. I deal with the neighbor that's a total pain in her ass. Like, I'm her whipping post and her counselor and her husband and her best friend and her doctor. And it's a lot. Tarek has taken a lot of it too. And I'm grateful for that because I would have been at the top of the skyway, even though they have those damn nets. I'd cut them. Last week I was ready to cut them, Seth, and just jump. I'm serious. Like,
I
it's weird the dark shit you think about when you're like, I can't handle this anymore. I can't. I said to Tariq, I can't do this. Like, I'm strong, but I don't think I can do this right now. He's like, we'll get through it. We'll get through it together. And
there
then I got better.
there are just and it's feels like it's more common, I guess, as you get older, but there's just parts of life, and it could happen consecutively, like it happened to me for, a year and a half, or, it could take some spots, but it just gets unbearably overwhelming, and there's just, that's how life is. And so whether, you drink or you get high or you exercise or you do, yoga, or, you do
Yep.
nothing, it's like you just have to do something, because these moments, whatever they are, most of them are things that, even though we all sit here and imagine worst case scenarios, most of the things that happen to us, we haven't thought about that would happen.
That's right.
And it's we just gotta roll through it. It really sucks, but that's all we can do. It's just, when you're taking care of your mom, is, we can be there for you if you need anything, or be there for her. And just hope we have those good days, those days that your mom is just bitching about, the neighbor, her shuffleboard partner. Those are great days. Those are good things.
Absolutely. I'll
Those are
take
good
it.
things. Yeah, those are good things to be worrying about. So,
That's
it's like,
true.
my dad is, what's my dad, like 76, 77 maybe? And yeah, he's still,
Okay.
yeah, he's still fine, but it's like, we got together and we were talking about minor league baseball players, we got together for Sammy's birthday a couple days ago, but it's just like, it's nice that we're not having some, deep, heavy conversation, and I can keep it,
Right.
light with my dad. So,
And you
um,
probably enjoy that, like, right? Probably growing up, you guys, that was probably your thing, right? Like sports together.
yeah, yeah, my dad. I don't even think he started telling me he loved me until I was about 34. So, it was
Wow.
always, it was always, it
Wow.
was, it was always sports. My dad would just always like hang up the phone real quick, and you're on with them, and be like, okay, bye.
Wow.
But then I started saying love you. So now I
Now
think he's a
he'll
little bit
say
more
it.
open with it. Yeah, my mom
And
always blamed his lack of emotion on the fact that his parents didn't love him enough. I don't know if she was joking or really being honest, but yeah,
did you ever
it's
know his parents?
no, they were both no. His dad had passed before I was born, and then his mom, I remember, but just from a few years, she had passed, probably when I was like 5 or 6. So
And is your dad from Chicago?
yeah, yeah,
That's
my
so
mom and
cool.
my
So is
dad.
mine. Oh, your mom
Yeah,
too? What
yeah,
part?
yeah, yeah. They're from the south side of Chicago. They're
Oh,
from. I'm
like
trying to
Homewood
think.
Flossmoor.
Yeah, Homewood
Okay.
Flossmoor.
Hmm.
Actually, the baseball player my dad and I were talking about was a kid that went to Homewood Flossmoor, who plays for the
Yeah,
Marlins now. So I was telling
that's
my dad
cool.
about that. But my dad had like a dry cleaning business in Berwyn. I was
Okay, yeah.
born. Yeah, I was born in Harvey, Illinois. So
Wow. That's
I think
really cool.
I think my parents lived in Park Forest. So those are the areas that I'm familiar with.
That's really cool. I love Chicago. I mean, I
You
grew
know
up.
those? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. So my dad, Jeff, was born in Chicago, like the city proper, like downtown Chicago. Then he grew up in, I think, Oak Park, River Forest, then LaGrange. And so Chicago was only less than 2 hours from Warsaw. So when we were younger, we would, my dad would take the train out of South Bend, the South Shore, and we'd go to Chicago all the time. As a kid, that was like really, 2 hours away, going to Marshall Fields and Water Tower. He'd
Yeah.
take us to hockey games. The Chicago Art Museum is one of my favorite places in the world. We'd always go to Chicago growing up. So I have so many amazing memories. It's one of my favorite cities. I know it's changed a lot. And then Bubba, when his career really started to take off, is when he was on B96. And, it was the number three in terms of radio market.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I was in at Purdue when he was at B96. And that's when like Grant Park, Chicago is like not really dangerous. Like you could go and as a teenager, we would go a lot, just walk around. So Bubba was on B96 and I'm in college and he has gigs at China Club and at all these big, huge, I mean, his career really, that was kind of a defining moment. So I got to ride that wave, and my girlfriends and I would go, to the clubs, and he would get us in. It's just really cool memories. I love that city.
Well, listen, I don't know if you've seen this, and if you are looking to move there at all, the Home Alone house is for sale. So I
Not
can't.
looking to move. I did see that. Oh, hell no.
I don't know if you want
No,
to get a little Airbnb, and then you can just show up there, a couple times a year. But
I
that could
think
be
I'll
fun
stick
for
to
the
the
whole family.
mountains. I think I'll stick to the mountains and then just visit Chicago as needed. You know what I mean? That's not
To
really
Tara,
a vacation spot.
to Tara
I
visit
think
the. No, listen,
I think
here's the thing: you're not getting shot walking down Michigan Avenue or shopping or anything like that.
no,
Like,
I'm not,
there are
or the Gold Coast. Yeah,
right.
no,
Yeah.
listen, I was just there for work. I've been back a lot. I'm not afraid. That's just not, that's not who I am. Cabrini Green doesn't exist anymore. We're not hanging out in those parts. I'm still not afraid. I would be more afraid of going to New York and getting punched in the face randomly. How
Oh
about that
God.
shit?
Oh my God. I've been to New York one time. That was enough. So yeah,
I,
listen, people, if you want to go vacation in Chicago, I can't guarantee anything, but you're not going to get shot shopping on Michigan Avenue. You're not going to get shot at the Bean. You're not,
no,
you might get
on the
shot going
street
to,
beach, you won't.
yeah, you're not going to get shot at a Cubs game or, at Wrigleyville or anything like that. So, you're not going to get shot at a glory hole. Like there are
I,
certain parts that you don't want to get mixed up in, but I think the tourism parts of the city are still going strong.
oh
Um,
man, I love that city in the summer too. The Taste of Chicago, 4th of July. Great
oh,
place to be.
oh
Great
yeah,
place.
it's awesome. It's awesome. I need to go back there. I have not been in a couple of years. All right, Tara, I got one last question for you. So thank you for doing this today. You used to really text me a lot early on, and this is a page right out of your brother's book. You texted me a lot about Operation Pigmentation. At one point I thought that you were the biggest fan, and
I am.
I haven't heard from you in about the last 5 episodes, and I understand you're busy, and I understand you got a life. We've talked about it for the last 50 minutes. I just wanted to know if you're still listening, and if not, do you plan on
Absolutely.
checking it out?
Absolutely. Oh my God. Keep in mind, I did travel to Nashville. Then when I got back from Nashville, I went to the Dominican. And then the shit has happened with my mom. In fact, I love it so much. And it's really cool because I do have a commute. And on my drive home, it usually drops when I'm, and then I'll catch it that day when I'm driving home. And I always love it. And Bubba came here last Saturday to see mom. And I'm like, Bubba, did you hear the latest? This was not this past week, the week before's episode. And I just really, they were talking about Craig and Rio. You guys were talking about graduation
Oh yeah.
ceremonies and college and how to work. And Bubba had just gone to Pepe's. And and so I was telling Bubba, that's it, about how you went there to the barber shop, and one of the guys didn't want you recording him, and told Craig or Rio, you need to get paperwork, and just to hear them, and it really touched my heart. And I know this sounds crazy, and I was bragging to Bubba about it. I mean, they are true. First of all, they're so smart. I mean, such smart businessmen, and just how open they are to their entrepreneur mindset. Like, man, we're looking at this as an opportunity to promote the brand of Latin Sons, and then to have franchises, and we haven't paid $1 in advertising. And the fact that they're even seeing, they're like, dude, they're 5 steps ahead of most people, not to mention business owners. And so it was really cool to hear their perspective. And, I love them. I am such a fan. And Seth, I keep saying this, and this is no bullshit. I really, really want to meet them. In fact, I'm supposed to be gone. I think you guys were doing Juneteenth on that Wednesday, the 19th, and I was going to be in Cleveland. And I think now you're going to do it on Saturday, either the Saturday before or after. And I was hoping I could go.
Yeah, we're doing it on the 15th, and then the Saturday after that, we have the Tarpons game. So
I'll be at the Latin Sons for sure.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
I mean, like, I feel like so corny. Like, I want to drive down there and just go in and give them both hugs and be like, dude, we are so like-minded. Like, their perspective, I get it. I feel like I've known them. And when you click with somebody, and you feel like you've known them your whole life. That's how I feel about these dudes.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't, and I appreciate that you definitely passed the test of listening to the podcast, because that was, you gave me the blow for blow the whole episode. I don't know if you did hear, there was a woman that came down from Minnesota.
Minnesota, yes. And who went in there. That was so cool.
Right. So the fact that, like, you just want to go meet them is like, it's the people are drawn to them from fucking other states. It's like, it blows my mind. So
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love how open they are, and grateful how, they get it. Man, just what cool. And did you, I know you've said this story. Did you just stumble upon that barbershop and meet them? I mean, how did that happen?
Yeah, it was. So, when I was on, I know it's hard for a lot of the Bubba Army to believe that I had a radio career before Bubba, not anything highly rated, but when I was
not true. Stop saying that shit.
When I was working at 97X, I mean, come on, it was Bubba and MJ, and then it was, whatever, but it was fine. I made a great living, and it was good to be in such a highly competitive radio market, because I think that, anybody that paid attention, hopefully it made them better. But I went to, there was just like, in 2008, there was this Obama cookie that came out. Somebody in the hood was making an Obama cookie that ended up getting picked up by like Walgreens, and and I was like, well, we gotta fucking go see who this guy is. So my producer Danielle, I sent her down there, kind of like man on the street type stuff, and the guy that made the cookie wasn't there, but it's next to the barber shop. So she ended up going to the barber shop, interviewing them, because I gave her questions to ask, and she just ended up interviewing those guys. And I ended up, after that, hearing them, I went down there to get a haircut, kind of just like how everybody hears them now for the first time, and like, I gotta go to see those guys. So I went down there, got a haircut, and I mean, I've been going there ever since. So.
And how long ago was that?
I mean, we're talking probably 15 years at least.
Oh my God, seriously?
Yeah.
That is so cool. And are they been there the whole time?
Craig's been there the whole time. Rio's been there for a few years. And then Craig's brother has also been there the whole time. Craig's brother was on the first episode, but he's got 4 kids. And Craig's kids are grown. So his brother's got like a bunch of other shit he's got always going on. But yeah, but Rio brings a lot to the table. And so, yeah, so I think he's going to help Craig, when they're looking to expand and all that.
I love that, man. I love those guys. It's just such a breath of fresh air. Small business owners really trying. And I consider myself a small business owner for the most part. And just it's refreshing, man. They get it, trying to hire people that really want to work, and that their philosophies and their challenges are very similar, just I think, to most business owners. And it's just great to get a different perspective, man. And we all need to learn from each other. And I love their perspective and how open they are to share it. So I really do want to meet them. And Tarek wants to meet them. He needs to go down there with you.
I can make it happen. Okay. I took Babyface down there, and they accepted Babyface. Now he did give them a $50 tip, but listen, the man knows what he's doing. Okay. He knows how to win people over. So, I'll take anybody down there that wants to go, because I'll get those guys any business that I can get them. And Tara, I appreciate you doing this today. Again, you get to absolutely nothing out of this other than to be annoyed.
Hey, listen, I just hope it doesn't suck. I have a feeling it might. So I think, for everyone listening, thank you. Give us grace for it being kind of a foggy Sunday for both of us. And hopefully it will be more compelling next time. I'll have some exciting stories for you in some way, shape, or form.
Oh man, Tara's apologizing for my performance too. I must have sucked more than I realized. So.
Oh my God, no! I feel like my conversation was like, I feel like you were so good. You're asking me questions about, like, do people really give a fuck about a 78-year-old woman that fell? And I feel like my side has not been compelling at all, and I feel bad.
No, listen, I wrote that down because I think it's compelling, because I think it's something that people have dealt with, are dealing with, or will deal with. So it's part of life, and so I'm not turning down any aspect of real life stuff. So we can talk about bullshit when we need to, but we need to cover real topics today. So I appreciate
hopefully our next
that.
podcast will be no family injuries we're discussing, and maybe it'll be one of us winning the lottery.
That would be fucking great. I would still move into the spare room that you have for Bubba, just so I could save money.
Perfect. Well, we got a ton of room. So, 5,000 square feet. Get your ass over here.
And you know what I would do? I would buy you a pool. I'd buy you a pool.
Oh, thank you. Since my husband told me I don't need one.
Yeah, I'd get you, we would get you a real $150,000 pool in the back, and then we'd also leave room for an above ground pool so we could be renting.
Oh, that's right. I love it.
So
oh my God, now we're talking.
We'll double it up.
Perfect. I love it. I have something to look forward to.
Thanks, Tara. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.